What's up, people? Hey, hey, hey. Just so you know, I've got everybody muted so we're not all talking at the same time. But I wanted to make sure, can everybody hear me? If you can hear me, let's utilize this chat feature. So there's the chat, of course, is at the bottom. Um, I'll open this up. Just type in the chat and say, yes, I can hear you. No, I can't hear you, whatever. But I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me. Okay. I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. What's up, people? Okay, so we got a lot of people in here. We got a few more people coming on. So let's just I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to get in. It's 6:01. I started it at 6, so technically I'm on time. But, I want to try to make sure that everybody has the same opportunity to get in and hear this because I know it's been anticipated for, a couple of weeks now. So I want to give everybody equal opportunity. So if you are in and you're not muted, please mute yourself or I will mute you. That way we're not just talking on top of each other. You're not talking on top of me. And we can make this as quick and painless as possible for you guys, for me. And then also, if you've got questions, like I'm going to try to give time at the end for questions. Okay. So I'm excited for you guys to be here. I'm going to give just another minute or two for a couple other people to get in, and then we're going to rock and roll, man. We're going to dive right into this. I'm excited. I know you guys are excited. Jason, good to see you again. I just saw you a couple of hours ago. Everybody else that's on here, man, I'm glad you guys can make it. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your evening. I know it's probably dinner time for a lot of people. So thank you guys for joining on. I'm going to give you some good nuggets to take away today, and then we're going to keep this thing rolling. So let me just remind you guys, if you have a question, a specific question that you want to ask me about real estate investing, I am going to answer questions at the end. So we're going to fly through a lot of this information. I'm going to answer questions at the end. That way you guys have the opportunity to at least get a question. Type it in the chat, please. The last slide that I give you will say questions. If I don't get to your question, then what we'll do is I have my email address that I'll put in the chat, but that's also on the last slide, that you can just send me your question and then I can try to answer it that way. So hopefully everybody's doing okay. Hopefully everybody's happy. Everybody can see me. I feel like everybody can see me. And then it is 6:03, so let's get this thing rolling. Okay, so welcome everybody. Right now I'm in my office, so if it says David DeVries, it's because we're David DeVries team here at Remax. So I'm logging on from my office computer, not my home computer. Okay, so a couple of quick house cleaning items. Remember, everybody's muted. If you somehow become unmuted, please mute yourself. Any questions that you have or comments, type them in the chat. I created a Facebook group. So if you got here, you probably got here from the Facebook group, right? It is a closed group. It is not an open group. So you cannot invite your friends, your family members. I did that specifically for a reason. I want this group to be a group of individuals that are not experts, that want to learn the right tools, the right way. So I made it a closed group. That way, if you've got questions, you've got ideas, you've got answers, we can all learn and grow together, okay? I didn't want anybody to feel one way or the other about asking their question, feel silly, hey, maybe I shouldn't put it in there, ask it. And we're going to answer and grow in our investing knowledge and education together. I'm going to take the lead on a lot of this stuff, but ask those questions. If you have comments, really utilize the chat, the Facebook group. It's called Real Estate Rookie Investors. I invited everybody in here, so you should know where it's at. Okay. With that, let me get off of me and share our lesson for today. Okay. Can everybody see my screen? If you can, type in the chat. Yep, I can see it. Everybody see the slides? Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I can see. Yes, I can see. Good, good, good. What's up, people? We got a couple other people strolling in, so we're going to start. And then as more come in, we'll just kind of keep it going. Okay. But a lot of people clearly want to know this information. I have been hounded. So everybody in the chat, you know, my wife is the one who is really the catalyst of making me do this today, getting me started on it. So just make sure that you say thank you to her because she is the one who has allowed me to take time out of my schedule to get this class going for you guys, because she knows a lot of you guys on Facebook said you wanted this class, you've been needing this class. Well, here it is, we're going to do it. Everybody hear me? Okay, so somebody can't hear me. Who can't hear me? Can you hear? Because everybody here? Just making sure before we start. If you can, say yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I said say yes, but I meant like type it in the chat. Hold on one second. I gotta mute everybody again, so give me a second. Okay, everybody muted, should be muted. Okay, everybody can hear me, right? Okay, everybody can hear me. Okay, we're good. All right, so let's go back. This class here is real estate investing for beginners, what it takes to get started, okay? This is going to be an entry-level class. This PowerPoint that I put together for you guys is not the most life-changing PowerPoint that you'll ever see in your life. However, it has good nuggets, it has good information, it will get the wheels turning, and it will get you going on where to start when you want to do real estate investing, okay? A lot of these questions we're gonna, drop in the chat. So if you got questions, like I said at the beginning, put them in the chat. I will try to go through at the end and answer your questions to the best of my abilities, okay? So let's get started, okay? All right, a little bit about me. I'm not gonna spend too much time on myself, but a little bit about me. 15 years in the real estate industry. I started in this business with RE/MAX at 19 years old. I do have a bachelor's degree in real estate from UTA. So whatever that means, degree, I feel a certain way about it, but whatever. And then we have grown our investment portfolio from two units to 20 units, worth over $1 million in property value in the last 3 years, right? A lot of that coming this year. I bought 17 units this year. So we clearly have a formula for success, and I want to share that formula with you guys and at least dive into the entry of how we got there and how we did it, okay? Let's go over my why. I believe that everybody has a why, right? Why are you here? Why are you doing this? What is the purpose for you guys to take this class today? You have a reason, okay? That reason is going to be gasoline for your engine or for your vehicle for you to get to the investment space that you want to get to, okay? My why is my family. This is my lovely family. My wife, Kay, my oldest son, Tyson, my middle son, Chubbs, and then my baby, Carmelo, okay? They are my why. They are the reason why I am doing what I am doing in investments. That way I can leave my children something. That way my wife will always, be able to do what she would like to do. We're grinding early, so that way in the later half of our life, and as our kids get older, we'll be able to spend more time with them, which is what real estate investing allows you to do. It allows you to create your own schedule, create passive income, and create the life that you want to have indefinitely, for as ever long you want, okay? What will we cover today? Today, we're going to talk about specifically 2 different types of investing, probably the most common, flips, which flipping real estate, and rental real estate, okay? Flips is the practice of buying a property low, selling it for a profit, selling it high, after you fix it up, put it back on the market, you sell it high. Rental property is basically acquiring a property, getting it rent ready, and then getting a tenant in there and allowing that tenant to pay not only the debt down if you have debt, but just give you passive income aside from anything else that you're doing, okay? We're going to talk about how do I find deals, how do you find your deals, how do I analyze my deals, and then also how do I fund my deals, which I'm pretty sure that's what everybody wants to know the most at. How do I fund my deals, okay? And we have a few different ways that we're going to do that, okay? Everybody good? If you're good, type in the chat. I'm good. We're good. Let's keep it moving. Let me know that you're alive in there. All right, sweet. So let's get in. Like I said, flipping versus rental property. I'm going to go over, these are going to be live examples, guys. A lot of people will bring you the hypothetical scenarios and the numbers and all that good stuff. I'm going to give you just real stuff, meat and potatoes, okay? That way you can see that I'm not making this stuff up. These are deals that I've actually done, okay? Flipping homes, October 2016. I did my first investment with my father-in-law. And this was a flip. You know, it was the very first flip that I ever did. I will tell you that when me educating you on this class and the tips of real estate investing, I lean more towards rental property than I do flips. This flip was in Midlothian. We caught this property because my father-in-law knew the person who was working on the property, and the owner of this property passed away. Okay, so in the middle of her upgrading her property, you know, my father-in-law got wind of it. He told me about it, and so we stepped in and purchased the property and, you know, flipped it for a profit. Okay, so this was the front. It was actually in Midlothian, Texas, and this was, like I said, October 2016. And I'll just show you a little bit of the pictures on the inside. This was a living area. They were doing the kitchen, trying to redo the kitchen. This was after it was finished. So of course the before and after. This was a soft flip, okay? It was not a difficult flip. It was, the lady had already done most of the work. We just kind of stepped in and did the right things in the right places. Spent money in the kitchen, spent money in, you know, drywall and redoing some things, windows of that nature, paint, flooring, all that good stuff. And then we stepped out and put it back on the market, okay? Let's see here. You can see a little bit more of the kitchen renovation. We put granite in, we put backsplash and all this good stuff. Good solid property, 3-bed, 2-bath, okay? Let's talk about the numbers, okay? This is what everybody wants to know. How do I do this, okay? So this property was a cash purchase, right? This is one of the ways that we're gonna talk about how to fund your deal, right? $52,000 cash purchase for this property. And I think the property was like, you know, 1,500 square feet, something like that. It wasn't too huge. It was like 14 and some change. So we paid $52,000 cash. My father-in-law was the one who actually put up the cash. Okay, so I partnered with him, which is one way that we're going to talk about funding your deals. You partner with somebody. Okay, if you don't have the cash to start, if you have you know, 2 other things of the deal delta, which we'll talk about, there's 3 things that you need: cash, you need knowledge, or you need hustle. Okay, if you've got 2 of those 3, you can find the 3rd. Okay, I had the knowledge, I had the hustle, my father-in-law had the cash. He actually me and him both had a little bit of hustle because he's a hustler as well. So sales price was $52,000 cash. Like I said, the lady passed away on this property, right? While she was doing some renovations to her house, we found out we actually purchased it and negotiated from the son, right? So there's a funny story with this guy, but we'll go over that after we do the numbers. So sales price was $52,000 cash. The rehab budget that we had on this one was $25,000. That was putting in all new kitchen cabinets, a lot of windows, a lot of flooring, inside and outside, trash out, just doing a lot of work on the property. I felt like it was a light rehab. It wasn't super extensive, but it's still 25 grand is what we had into it. So our AIM, all in money, is what AIM starts for, which you're going to hear a lot of acronyms throughout the course of this class. Our all in money was $77,000. The seller paid all the closing costs, okay? So when we fixed it up, and we put it back on the market, me being a realtor, which you'll utilize a realtor, probably myself, I priced it out at $164,900, right? That's what we sold the property at. Actually, we put it on for $160 and sold it for $164,900. So we got an extra $4,900 on top of that price. That was pretty good, right? $52,000 cash, all in money at $77,000, and then we turn around and put it back on the market for $164,900, okay? Everybody follow, right? Everybody okay? Everybody doing all right? Okay, good. So we put it back on the market for $164,900, got $164,900. We had closing costs of $14,401.65. Okay, so that's pretty decent, you know, pretty standard closing costs, closed at a title company. And then we turned around and had proceeds of about $150,498.35. That was the proceeds from the sale. So not bad, right? Pretty good flip. Well, since we basically had $77,000 invested into this property. You subtract the sales proceeds from the money that we actually had into it, and then you get the $73,498.35 profit. Not bad for your first flip, right? We had a 60-40 split. My father-in-law had 60. I had 40. And so for bring no money to the table, I walked away with just shy of $30,000 on the first flip. Now type in the chat, how many people want to do flips? Anybody? Tell me who wants to do it, who doesn't. This was a pretty simple, pretty easy flip. Brandon is like, yep. Brandon, you already did his flip. He's already made his money, so I already know. Okay, so let me tell you how I felt about this flip. I hated every minute of it. I really did. I didn't like the fact that everything I felt like was working against me. Time was working against me. The repairs were working against me. You have to make sure that people are there, people working on time. The things that you picked out are actually the stuff that's going in. And then when we put it under contract, I had a buyer who was coming in asking me for repairs. He was asking me for this, asking me for that. I want to fix this. I want to fix that. This was after we had already rehabbed the property. The thing that I did well with this one, when we did put it back on the market to get it under contract, is the guy put up $1,650 option money. So when you put a property under contract, the buyer has the option to get the property inspected. And it's usually a period of 7 days where if they don't feel comfortable in that deal, they can walk away. Okay. So he put up $1,650. What's common for a house this price point for you to have an option money from a buyer? About $100. So if he backed out of the deal, he lost that, automatically. That's what came to me. So what did I do with this one? He is asking me for about 15 different repairs, and I just said no. At a point, I just said no. And the agent said, you're not going to do the repairs? He's going to walk. I said, if he walks, I'm going to get $1,650. I am going to pay myself back for whatever I've already done for this guy and take that extra $1,000 and keep it moving down the road and sell this house to somebody else, get another option fee. So he can do whatever the heck he wants. And he bought it. He stopped asking me for stuff. He moved on and he bought it. Okay. So that was my first flip experience. Overall, will I flip again? Absolutely. If the numbers make sense, we do the deal. That's something you're going to hear me say over and over. But I hated every minute of this first flip. And that's why I devote most of my efforts right now into rental property. And I made money on my first flip, but it is what it is. That's my personal preference. As we go through the course and as I continue to mentor you guys through this group, you'll find what you like the most. All right, let's go to the next one. Rental property. So this was the actual second rental building that we purchased. The first one we purchased was a duplex for $42,000, which I paid $9,000 over ask price. It's actually the picture when I created this event. That was the picture of the house when we bought it. I paid $42,000, $9,000 over the ask price. People thought I was stupid. We turned it into a duplex. My mortgage on that property was $375 a month. I got 2 tenants to pay $950 per side on this property, right? And so I made out pretty good in my investment. So this was investment number 2. This was in East Fort Worth. July 18, 2018 is when we bought it. We actually sat on it for 1.5 years before we did anything. It was crazy. We just got so busy that we didn't have time to rehab it. So we sat on it. And that's, it just basically sat there for forever. So you're seeing the before and after we actually did get in there and rehab it, okay? So let's go to the next one. So this property, like I said, East Fort Worth off of 35 and Allen, we had issues with people going in the house. So we had these, I don't know what you call it. It's a company that comes in and bars up all the windows just to make sure if you go in the house and you get those bars off, you've probably taken off the wall. We had that much traffic coming in and out of the house, right? People were like, why would you buy that? And it was all about the numbers for me. You can see the after photo when we actually went in, we painted, we did trim, we got new windows. These floors actually came from my mother-in-law's house. We took them up from her house and we put them down in this house to save money on the rehab. And then we turned around and it looked great. We put vinyl and laminate floors in here and it looked fantastic. Turned out pretty good. This was the kitchen. It was a complete gut job. You know, we had to move plumbing lines. We had to do windows. We had to do all of this, right? And then you can see the after where we came in and put new cabinets, new backsplash. This was right before we rent. I actually had it rented at this point. I hadn't even finished it. I probably had 50 people within an hour reaching out to me about this property once I actually posted it up for rent. I actually had to take it down. I had so many people asking about it. Crazy, right? So rental real estate, let's dive into the numbers of this deal. That was 903 East Arlington. It's in Fort Worth, East Fort Worth off of 35 and Allen, right? So I purchased this property for $39,000. It was a partnership deal as well. Myself and my partner, David DeVries, who I do real estate sales with, went 50-50 on this deal. We did not pay cash. We financed it, which is going to be a good lesson once we get to how do I fund my deals, right? We have a bank, which is a small community commercial bank, that basically gave us a line of credit for purchasing rental property because they knew what our goal was. Our goal was to get enough rental properties to pay for our overhead here at the office, and then any extra money we made was just passive income. They wanted to hold the long-term notes on them. So they gave us a line of credit to purchase the properties basically as a conventional loan. And then once we closed on the property, they converted that loan into a long-term mortgage of 30 years, right? And so this was the purchase price. We paid $1,779.50 in closing costs. And so our actual cash out of pocket to close was $6,914.25. That's how much it cost me to purchase this $39,000 house. And actually I paid half of that because we were 50-50 partners on this. So it cost me just a little more than $3,500 or just a little less than $3,500 to secure this deal, okay? Now people ask me all the time, how much money do I need to get into real estate? It depends. It depends on what you're doing, if you're renting, if you're buying. So this is a real deal, like I said, that we did. The rehab budget on this one was $20,000. The all-in money, including the amount we were financing, the amount of money we put down in cash to close, and the amount of money that we put in the rehab was $65,914.25, okay? So let's talk about the rental analysis. How do we make money from this, right? So we rented this property out for $1,125 a month, right? So how do we get positive cash flow? You take that rent, you subtract your expenses, your mortgage payment, principal and interest, only $346.38. Property taxes on this one were $121. Insurance was $78. Property management fee of $112, and then CapEx or overhead, which I call capital expenditures. That is money that you put aside out of the rent every month for windows that break, for refrigerators that go out, or window units that go out, or repairs that need to be done on plumbing or different items. You budget for that. That way, when those things happen, you're not spending that money out of your own personal pocket. It's taken out of the rent, right? So all those expenses amounted to the $718.88. So every month we're positive $406.12, right? Our property management fee of 10% covers the phone calls, the repairs, my toilet broke at night. The property manager handles that. The property manager also handles taking applications, showing the property when it's for rent. I'm a realtor and I don't even show my own properties when we're actually putting them up for rent, okay? So our cash on cash return based off of this $406.12 a month, this is per month after expenses, what we pocket, 16.3%. Can anybody in the chat tell me what a really good investment in the stock market is going to get you average? If a stock trader or somebody, a money management person is really good, what is a really good interest rate that you would make, or return on investment that you would make percentage wise on your money? Anybody know? Type it in the chat. Brandon says 10 to 12%. Troy says 5%. Eduardo says 8 to 12. I see 3%, I see 10%. Okay, so if your money manager, and I used to trade stock for a living, I know, if they are like smoking like amazing, your return on your investment is probably going to be around 5-6%. This deal right here, I'm making 16.3% cash on cash return. That means the money that I've actually put out, that's a percentage of how much I make of that back every single year. Ain't that crazy? You see what real estate can do for you, okay? All right, let's keep moving. Let's talk about the deal delta. And stop me, like I said, it's going to be a lot of meat and potatoes. I am recording this so that way you guys take your notes now, but I'll be able to send you the link after we're done so you can go back and listen to it again and hear what I said and then go back and form your questions that way. But we're just going to keep moving forward. So deal delta. 3 sides of the triangle. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Knowledge, hustle, capital. Those are 3 things that you need to do every deal, right? If you got 2 out of those 3 sides of that triangle, you can find the 3rd and get the deal done. If you have no money, but you have knowledge of the deal and you've got the hustle to go get the deal and bring the deal to somebody, you'll find somebody who has the money that can put up and partner with you to get that deal done. Or vice versa. You have the knowledge and you've got the capital, but you don't know how to do it. You can find somebody who's in the business that can hustle and make sure that they can get that deal to you. That way you can partner with them and get the deal done. We call that the deal delta. I got that from biggerpockets.com, which is a really good podcast that you can listen to about real estate investing. They preach a lot of these same principles. I take it to heart and I took off with it, and it has actually transformed our business. Okay. Deal delta. All right. So let's talk about when you're renting property. Okay, what do I need to know? How do I know if I'm getting cash flow or not? And this is the same principle that we just talked about. You take your rent. How much am I getting per month? How much am I planning on renting it out per month? You subtract the expenses, the mortgage payment, the property taxes, the insurance, the property management fee, which a property manager is a person who's going to, like I said, find your tenant, screen your tenant, get your tenant rented, collect your actual rent, and then pay you the remainder of your rent after the property management fee has been taken out. And then you've got your capital expenditures, which is basically the side money you put aside for emergencies and repairs. All of that, once you have rent, if you subtract all of those, typically you'll get your cash flow amount. And if it is more than all of those expenses, that is positive cash flow, okay? And this is just the entry part of this, right? And I know we're moving pretty fast. However, I'm going to try to make sure that I cover a lot of ground and give you guys enough time to ask your questions, okay? What do I need to do to start? Okay, you're ready. You're jacked up. You saw the flip numbers. You saw the rental numbers. Those were real deals that I have done that I made money on or I'm still making money on. So what's next? Okay, so this is something you should get your notepad out, screenshot, do whatever you need to do. But remember this is what you need to get going to start, okay? Know and define your why. Why are you doing this? Everything that we do is going to be with a system on a plan. You have to have a reason. Otherwise, it's not going to be as motivational for you as we go further along with the next courses. So know your why. Is it your family? Is it, I want to make extra money. I love my job. I don't want to quit work, but I want extra money so that I can do more things that I want to do or have more flexibility in my schedule. Or maybe I want to quit my job and I need the passive income or the extra income so that I can take control of my life and my job situation so I don't have to work for anybody else. Whatever it is, I don't really care. As long as you know what it is and you stick to it, you write it down, you post it somewhere in your car, on your mirror, at your job, whatever it is, and you make sure that you look at it every single day, right? Educate yourself. Do what you're doing right now. Congratulations to everybody for taking the first step in joining this class. You need to educate yourself further after this class. I read, once I started in, the first book that I read in real estate investing was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Probably one of the most famous books of all time for understanding rental real estate and cash flows, right? That book changed my life. I read it cover to cover, and I'm not a reader. I read it cover to cover in probably a day or so. Couldn't put it down, right? I was reading it at night. My wife's on this class. She can vouch for that. She can tell you, in bed at night with the lights off, and I had that sucker on my phone. I was still reading it. Okay. Read everything that you can get your hands on. I'm going to give you a couple of good sources at the end of books to get you started, so you can understand the concepts. But read everything you can get your hands on. Educate yourself on everything you can get your hands on. And she's typing in the chat. Yep, he sure did. I still do that now, don't I, babe? I read books at night when everybody's asleep. I'll have my phone up reading my books on trying to understand concepts on how to make myself better and how to invest better. Okay. So read everything you can. You should be listening to podcasts. So join the Real Estate Investing podcast, join the Bigger Pockets podcast, join Real Estate Investing for Dummies. What are you listening to when you're on your way to work, when you're picking up your kids, when you're jogging on your trails? A lot of people work out in this class. What are you listening to? Okay. You have to fully commit to this because this is work. But at the end of the day, if you grind up front, it will set you up for the rest of your life. Okay. Yes, Brandon Turner's book on rental property investing. He does another book that's, which Troy put that in the chat, Investing with No Money or Low Money Down. Man, this is gold stuff, man. These books may cost you 10, 12, 20 bucks, but man, they can change your life. They really can. And I'm not a reader. I'm not a Rhodes Scholar or anything like that. I didn't get straight A's or things like that in school. So if I can figure this stuff out, I know that anybody can, okay? So educate yourself in any way that you can. Number 3, clearly defined plan of action. Write down your plan. I tell everybody who's getting into investing, what do you want to do? Do you want to do rental real estate? Do you want to do flips? Do you want to do wholesale deals? Pick something and master it, okay? The problem that most rookie investors have is they jump from place to place to place. I want to rent, and then I want to flip, and then I want to do this, and then I want to do that, and I'm going to wholesale, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. Find one thing, master it, get really good at it, and then go to the next thing. So have a clearly defined plan of action. That consists of what am I going to do, and when am I going to do it, and how often am I going to do this, okay? Make your goal, set your goal, sit down with your spouse, your significant other, yourself, the people who are in your support group and say, I'm going to flip one property a year until I get comfortable with this. Or I'm going to buy one rental every 6 months until I can get enough to where I can do what I want to do. Okay. But write it down, affirmation, speak it into existence. Make sure you watch it just like your why. Make sure you post it somewhere where you can see every day. Okay. Number 4, your team. Time to create your team. Okay. You're going to need a cast or a team to surround yourself to make this thing happen. What does my team look like? Contractors to do the work, lenders to fund the deals, partners to fund the deals. Okay. Property managers to run your analysis, systems, people to do your mail outs. You can hire your kids to send direct mail to people to get leads. Start creating your team now. Okay. It's very, very important. Do the work up front after you educate yourself, and we go a little bit further along, you'll know what team members you need to start thinking about having. Analyze 1 to 3 deals a day. We're going to briefly touch over how to analyze a deal and what systems we use. We've already analyzed 2 deals. So you're going to do this once I give you these systems and these calculators. You're going to do this. You're going to find properties on realtor.com or conradsalesdfw.com. You're going to plug them in, and you're going to analyze 1 to 3 deals a day. The best way to master something is through repetition. You're going to do it every day, just like you're dribbling a basketball, you're swinging a baseball bat, you're trying to sew, or you're trying to understand how to, cut wood or build a house or build a shed. It only comes through repetition. That's where greatness comes. Okay. And then ask plenty of questions. Utilize the Facebook group. Okay. Everybody asks me questions every single day. But what you don't understand from my standpoint, I'll get the same question asked about 7 times. Put it in, this is what the group is for. Put it in the group discussion, post it, and I guarantee you there's 5 or 6 people who have the same question, okay? And that way when I answer it, I can be a little bit more efficient and get through a lot of you guys' questions right off the bat, okay? Personal financial statement. This is another tool in your arsenal that you need to get comfortable with. I will make sure that as the end, you send me your email addresses. Most everybody I already have, but if you send them to me, then I will turn around and make sure to send everybody an example personal financial statement, okay? This is the language of the bank. When you say, I want to get a loan to buy an investment property, the first thing they're going to ask you is, have you done this before, right? The second thing they're going to ask you is, can you give me a personal financial statement? This is your investment card, right? To show how worthy you are of what you're trying to do, okay? I'm going to send this to everybody. It is going to be your homework to fill this sucker out, okay? We're not going to post them, but you're going to at least fill it out, right? And when you fill it out, you'll see, once you put your assets, what I own, what I have ownership in, the things that are making me money versus the debts or liabilities, the things that are costing me money, you'll see, you'll have a clear view of what financial shape you are currently in. It'll ask you what cash you have on hand in your bank accounts. It'll ask you what property you own, what else you have that's making you money. Have you lent money to anybody else and they're paying you interest back? What debts do you have? Your car notes, your mortgage, your rent that you're paying every month, your expenses, your childcare, all that. And you'll be able to see what it is that you are bringing to the table, okay? And this is specifically for you and the bank. It's not for me. You're not going to send it back to me, okay? I'm going to give this to you. You're going to fill it out. The one I will give to you guys is in Excel format. And when you plug in the numbers, it'll start spitting out your net worth of what your actual net worth is right now based off of everything that you've put in here, okay? That is important. It's super important that you get familiar and comfortable with this. This is your access to dollars. It's also your education on your financial status right now, okay? So if you don't know what this is, you need to study it. You need to learn it. You need to fill it out every single month and see how it changes. Because as this gets better, your actual quality of life gets better. I guarantee that, okay? So personal financial statement. Everybody good? Okay, there's some questions in here. I see the questions. I am going to answer those questions at the end, but this one's one that I can answer pretty easily. You will fill out a personal financial statement for your household if you're married, okay? You can do it individually if you plan on investing individually, but you're probably gonna wanna do one for your household combined, okay? Everybody good? I won't spend a ton of time on this. I'm going to keep it moving so we can get through to the questions. How do I find my deals? All right, the good part, the meat and potatoes, okay? How do I find my deals? Where the heck am I going to find these awesome deals, Conrad, that you post about on Facebook or that other people post about, okay? Well, let me tell you. You got to find motivated sellers. There's 3 types of distress that people typically are under, which causes them to make a decision on the property when they're selling at a discount, okay? There's market distress, personal distress, and property distress, okay? Hopefully you guys are taking notes. Remember, I'm gonna send you the link to this, but screenshot this if you can't wait or you need this immediately, because I'm gonna move forward on this slide pretty soon. But market distress, basically the state of the economy, the state of the area, the real estate market in general. Texas typically has a pretty good real estate stable market, right? We're at all-time highs right now, okay? But in certain parts of North Texas, you might find deals that are a little bit better because those areas are a little bit more distressed. That is opportunity for you to get a discount on an investment property if the numbers check out, okay? This market distress creates the easiest time to find deals, right? But this is the type of distress you have the least control over. So what people typically are doing, like they're doing right now, is they're saying, oh man, pretty soon the market's going to tank. We got COVID out there and COVID's going to bring the real estate market down. So I'm just waiting until this market drops, and you're going to wait yourself right past the opportunity. I'm telling you that firsthand because those deals are already out there for market distress, okay? So if you're waiting, you typically spend too much time waiting, and by the time you feel like it's already here or it has arrived, it's gone, okay? So that's why we analyze 1 to 3 deals a day, so you can understand trends, you can understand how to analyze things on the fly, and you'll be able to pick up pretty quickly the more you do this, how the market is reacting to the news and the media and the state of the economy. Okay, personal distress, another way to find deep discounted properties. Okay, the owner is experiencing some type of distress in their personal life, or if it's affecting their finances. Okay, This form of distress typically produces deals with the highest margins, meaning your opportunity to get the biggest discounts are typically through personal distress, okay? And then this also requires relationship building, time, and lots of energy for you to find these deals. What does that mean? That means that the owner of this property, which you're going to go out and actually try to buy at a discount, is under some type of distress. Maybe they are unable to afford the home anymore, okay? Maybe they're going through a separation in their marital life. Maybe they've lost a loved one and the loved one put this on them, and they have no intentions of being in this property or doing anything with this property. This is typically the opportunity as an investor for you to go in and say, okay, well, I will buy it at this price. Now, let me put an asterisk by this, right? Because I have morals. I was raised Christian background. Like, I'm not going in targeting senior citizens or things of that nature, people who died, to try to find properties, and that's my main source of getting deep discounts, okay? I fairly believe that you can give people a fair and honest price for their home, and that's still at a discount without taking advantage of them. You have to make sure that the situation is a win-win for both sides, okay? As an investor, you will do way better at investing if you're not out there taking advantage of people. But that does not mean that personal distress does not play a factor in you getting a certain price, okay? So just keep in mind, you're not in there trying to take advantage of people, okay? But you are trying to get the property at a price that makes sense for you, makes sense for them. If they can walk away with a good lump sum, or their goal achieved, and you can walk away with the property you can make money on, seems like a win-win, okay? And then there's property distress. That is the state of the property. It's usually in a condition that's affecting the value. It's usually, these properties require large amounts of work, so you're going to need to have those contractors on deck and those property managers and realtors on deck. And then this type of distress is usually the easiest for most people to find, but involves the most amount of work. And I know I had some people in here when I put the work and the repairs and stuff up from some of those earlier deals that we did, like, man, I'm scared of those repairs. That's okay. We're going to get comfortable with it. Okay. Property distress is an opportunity for you to see what other people miss. HGTV is really good at painting a good picture of, hey, I can find this sucker at this house at this price, and then turn around and make it big and beautiful and get this price, okay? Property distress is usually easiest to spot, and that's one thing that we're gonna look for as we dive into a lot of these deals, okay? Opportunity for a new investor to come in and do really well is through property distress. All right, so where do I find my deals? Here's a list of different sources for you to get deal flow, okay? MLS, the multiple listing service, basically a website that produces properties that you can see what the prices are, what they're asking, and you can see what the numbers are so you can analyze those deals, okay? ConradSalesDFW.com is my website. Realtor.com is another popular website, okay? Everybody goes to which site? Zillow, right? Everybody loves Zillow. It's the biggest, it's the baddest. It's the one that also has the most out-of-date information, the most incorrect information, because they just don't update it all the time, okay? So it has homes on there that I sold years ago still showing available. So you don't want to be running your numbers on something that's not accurate. So if you go to ConradSalesDFW.com, you go to Realtor.com, my wife has put it in the chat, you can get a site that updates every 60 minutes with accurate information if that property is available or if there's been a price drop or whatever, okay? Realtors. Part of your team, you're going to need a realtor to rely on. Now, I say that I am a realtor. Most people are going to start with asking me questions and asking me to help them analyze their deals, and I am perfectly fine with that. However, I will caution you against just picking any realtor. If you do not want to ask me the question, which everybody typically does, but if you find somebody, most people have a friend, family member, know somebody else who's a realtor, it's okay to ask them questions about real estate investing if they know about real estate investing. Majority realtors, even those super successful ones, do not invest in real estate themselves. So I'm not gonna go asking a realtor who doesn't have any real estate property or doesn't have any investing experience if my deal looks good, because they don't know. All they know is typically comps, which is okay, because that's what we're taught as realtors, how to handle people and how to handle properties, right? But that doesn't mean I understand investments, cash on cash return, deal flow, capital expenditures, I don't understand how closing costs and all that stuff play a factor in my refi or my BRRRR strategy. So all of that is information that you need your realtor to understand. So you're really going to rely on your realtor if they know what they're doing in the investment space. If they have personal property that is invested in, then they're probably a good source for you. Okay. Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. Craigslist, you can find a lot of properties for sale, right? Craigslist, there's a lot of properties on there that are for rent, right? So what's to stop you from going on Craigslist where it has a for rent post and you typing in a message to that particular owner saying, hey, I noticed you've got this property for rent, but would you be interested in selling it? Because a lot of people are renting their properties because they don't know how to sell them. So that's an opportunity for you to go in, type them a real quick note. Hey, I see you have this property for rent, but I'm an investor and I'm actually looking for properties to purchase. Would you be interested in selling? And if so, how much? And that opens up the door for a new lead. You'd be shocked how many people say, oh, well, yeah, I would sell it for the right price. Now you're nervous and you start shaking and you're like, oh my gosh, what do I say next? What do I do next? Put down step away from the keyboard, go into the group and type emergency. I need you to tell me what to do so I can walk you through it. Okay. Facebook Marketplace is a good place to find properties as well. Okay. You find a lot of seller finance or owner finance deals there, which means you don't have to go through a bank. Which brings us to the next topic, for sale by owners. Good source to find properties for sale. Typically, most properties are for sale by owner because the owner thinks that they can do a better job than a realtor. Okay? So if they don't have a license, but they feel like they can do a better job than the realtor, and you're an investor and you understand analyzing a deal, typically you can have a leg up on that for sale by owner. Okay? Wholesaler. What's a wholesaler? A wholesaler is somebody who basically gets a property, finds a deal, puts it under contract, and then turns around and finds somebody who wants to buy that property, increases the price. So give you an example. I'm a wholesaler. I found a deal that somebody wants to sell for $50,000, right? I have a person on the back end who I know is looking for properties under $75,000. So I turn around and I put that property under contract. And then I go to my other person on the other side who's looking under $75,000 and say, I will sell this property to you for $60,000, right? And that person contracts. The wholesaler is going to assign that contract to the new buyer and walk away with 10 grand and never even step foot on the property when it closes. Okay, that's what a wholesaler does. Wholesalers are also good sources of leads. Okay, they will find properties at deep discounts that are typically off market, which means less competition, and then they will push them out to you so that way you can have the opportunity to analyze the deal and make sure that it works right. Red flag on the wholesaler, though, they typically provide you with asking price numbers and after repair value numbers. You have to be sure your numbers are solid. Sometimes their numbers are off on the after repair value. So that's why we will utilize our group Facebook and say, hey, this is the deal. Does this sound right? Or you'll utilize your realtor or property manager to make sure that the numbers that they say are actually accurate. MyHouseDeals.com below that is a website that actually lists properties for sale by wholesalers. They're still off market, but they are on this particular website. And it's a lot of wholesalers. You know, that is a big opportunity to find deals through wholesalers, okay? Word of mouth is typically where you find the best deals, okay? Somebody knows somebody's selling a property. Typically, if there's nobody else involved, you can step in, analyze that property, see what you can make on it, give them an offer, and then move forward with that purchase. Foreclosure list. If you can pay for the foreclosure list, with most people try to pay for the list, it used to be better to find deals this way when the market was bad. The market's pretty good, so typically in foreclosures, I tell people there's not as many deals out there. There are some, but there's not as many. Okay, estate sales. You see the signs all the time. We're having an estate sale. I mean, somebody probably passed away on the property. So that will allow you to go up and start that conversation as to who do I need to talk to learn if this property is for sale? Because if they're selling the stuff in it, they're probably going to sell the property right behind that. Okay. Short sales are typically when the bank has said that they are going to allow the owner of that property to sell that property at a specific amount and not foreclose on it, basically. So it's a way for them to sell it short of foreclosure. Okay. So if you find win, that's usually from your realtor or a property manager or word of mouth that somebody's doing a short sale. Ding, ding, ding. That's an opportunity for you to go in and say, how much, I'll give you this amount, see if you can make a deal happen. Driving for dollars. Okay. How many people, put this in the chat, how many people that are on this class right now have ever driven down the street, right, and seen a sign that says, we buy ugly properties, or we'll buy your home cash? Put it in the chat. Yep, I've seen it. No, I haven't. Most people in here saying yes, right? You see those signs all the time, okay? So now let me ask you this question. If they are buying properties cash, right? Has anybody ever thought to pick up the phone and call them and say, do you have a property that you would like to sell? Because they don't just buy, they sell also. They're buying them at discounts, so they have discounted properties in their inventory. What a great source for you to pick up the phone, call the number, and say, hey, would you sell that to me? Or do you have anything that you can sell to me? 9 times out of 10, they'll say, I do have a property that I'm looking to move. And if they've bought it at a discount, even if they increase and make a little bit of money on it, you're probably still buying at a discount. As long as your numbers work, we do the deal, okay? So that's what driving for dollars is. You're not just driving around looking at the cool stores and going to your destination. You're noticing there's a property on this street that's boarded up. The grass is overgrown. Maybe I should go back and look up the owner in the county appraisal district website and see if that owner actually has an out-of-state or an out-of-city address that's different than that address. Then maybe I should write a letter to them and send it to them and say, hey, would you be interested in selling your property? That's driving for dollars. You're understanding your surroundings. I do this all the time. Most people go home the same way every day from work or from gym or from wherever they're going. When they leave their house, they go home the same way because it's familiar. I often take different routes home because I want to see different things. And you'd be surprised how many opportunities you see just by going home on a different street. Crazy, right? This stuff isn't rocket science. It's just understanding what the objective is and trying to find every opportunity to get it. Friends and family is similar to the word of mouth. Friends and family and word of mouth is going to be probably the best opportunities to get deals. Contractors. Great source of contractors. Okay, where am I going to find contractors? Anybody ever been to Home Depot or Lowe's? Majority of the people in there are contractors, right? Why are contractors in there? Because they're getting materials for a job that they're about to do. The job is usually at a property. So if you are in Home Depot and you're Lowe's and you notice somebody in the plumbing section with plumbing stuff and they look like a contractor or they talk like a contractor, or you can go to the Home Depot staff or the managers and say, who are the regulars in here? Can you point them out to me? Because they're always in there. I guarantee you my father-in-law is at Home Depot 3 or 4 times a day. My mother-in-law is on this class. She can attest to that, right? The regulars understand the staff. So the staff knows who the regulars are. They can point you in the direction of the people who are doing work all the time. You approach those people and say, hey, you doing any work for anybody right now on any houses? Who's the owner? Okay. Contractors can be great sources of lead flow and deal flow. Okay. Insurance agents. Insurance agents are also always giving quotes and all that good stuff, right? Do you know they also have claims? Houses catch on fire. Houses get some type of water damage. Houses, have all sorts of things happen to them from time to time. Usually the first people to know about it are the insurance agents. So why wouldn't you call your insurance agent and say, hey, you know anybody that has some damage or something recently that might be willing to move that property? Now they're going to be bound. They can only say so much because they're probably a licensed professional, but they can probably point you in the right direction on who to ask those questions to. Okay. Direct mail. That is actually physically or, electronically sending mail to properties. Like when we're driving for dollars, you see the boarded up house. You actually write a note to the actual person who owns that house. You can look them up on every county appraisal district website. You can find a property in that county and see who the owners are. It's public information. Okay. Auctions kind of going hand in hand with the foreclosures.
Good place that you can find deals. There's online auctions, but just know that you're typically paying a premium for paying an auctioneer, which is the person who's auctioning off those properties. And so it's usually around 5% or more. So that's going to be added on to the winning bid. So those may not be as great for a first-time investor. Tax sales. That's also hand in hand with the foreclosure list. Good opportunity to find properties, right? The properties that I'm building on right now with my father-in-law, with our home building company, we bought as a package from one owner, and then a couple of those lots came from an auction, a tax sale. I bought 2 lots for $1,200. I turned around and built 2 houses on them for $200,000 a piece. Okay, so good sources of lead flow. And then, of course, like we talked about, absentee owners in the tax records. That's just looking up the county records to see who owns that property and seeing if they do not actually live at the same address that the property is at. Okay. Everybody good? All right. What is your process? What does your deal flow process look like? How much time do I spend looking for deals? As an investor, as a rookie investor, you're going to have to change your mindset. Change the way that you look at these deals. Change the way that you look at life, okay? You're looking for opportunities all the time, okay? Make sure that you open your eyes, right? Like when we're driving for dollars, you're looking for those signs. You're not just looking at the sign, you're calling the number and seeing if there's an opportunity. Do you call 10 to 20 leads every day? Well, where am I going to find 10 to 20 leads, Conrad? Well, I just gave you a list of places to start looking for leads, right? And this is a pretty extensive list, right? You can probably find 2 or 3 leads from each one of these sources, okay? So am I picking up the phone and calling 10 to 20 leads a day, okay? Do I look up an address online for absentee owners? How many letters am I putting out a day, right? Do I post test ads on Craigslist? Do I call ads on Craigslist? What's a test ad, right? A test ad is basically an ad that you put on Craigslist for a property. Hey, I'm looking to purchase a property, or I'm looking to sell a property, right? And I'm looking to sell it cash. You put that out there, it'd be a whole bunch of cash buyers that call you. And then you can turn around to those cash buyers who are calling you on your lead and see if they have any other properties that they've purchased and that they're willing to sell. And you can tell them when they call, oh, why would I do that? Well, why would I do it that way? When they call you, you say, oh, that property's gone, sorry. But do you have anything that you want to sell? A lot of times investors deal with other investors, and that's the main source of their deal flow. So you're just opening up your mind and understanding how this stuff works and the different opportunities that you have that you probably have passed up every single day of your life. Now you're understanding how an investor thinks, okay? Do I post on social media that I'm looking for deals? I'm pretty sure that everybody in this class has seen my social media posts, right? Why am I doing that? Am I flexing on everybody? Nah, that's not why I'm doing it. I'm trying to find a network of people that have the same mindset as me so that I can create a class, so that I can teach people how to find deals, so that I can partner with these people who I'm teaching how to find deals so I can do more deals, okay? You should have the same mindset. The more I learn, the more I can educate others. The more I educate others, the more opportunities I have to do deals with others who are like-minded like me, which means that my real estate portfolio can expand a lot faster than if I could do this all on my own, right? Which everybody needs help, okay? And then, am I out driving for dollars? That is a great overview of how to find deals, okay? Everybody okay? Did any of that not make sense to anybody? Okay, everybody okay? Type in the chat, say, yep, I'm okay. No, I'm not okay. I need a hug. I need a water break, whatever, okay? If not, we're gonna keep moving right along because we're at 6:59 and I'm gonna blow through the rest of this stuff and then we're gonna dive into your questions, okay? Awesome. How do I analyze my deals? Found a lead, now what? I found that property, now what do I do? Get the information. The bare minimum, you're gonna ask, what's the asking price, okay? How much are you selling it for, okay? How much work is needed? That's what you're gonna ask. That's what you're gonna try to analyze based off of what they've said versus you actually going in person. How much is the after repair value? You will ask that question to your mentor, you'll ask it to the group, you'll ask it to me. You'll post that in the chat so that way people can respond once I teach all y'all how to calculate these deals. So you'll see how much opportunity it is for you to make money in that deal. If the asking price is too high, it's not going to be good enough for you, or if the after repair value is too high, it's not be good enough for you to pay that price, that asking price. But if the after repair value has a lot of room, then you might be able to move the needle on that asking price up or down, depending on what the seller wants, okay? How are you gonna know unless you've been able to analyze the deal with these systems, or at least you're asking these questions? And then why are you selling is the most important reason. Why are you selling? You ask them 2 or 3 times. Why are you selling? Why are you selling? See if you get different answers, okay? That's when we go back to the distressed personal market, or property distress, see why they're selling so you can understand what kind of deal you can possibly get out of this situation. And then will you sign a deal right now? If I give you an offer, will you go ahead and contract it? Okay. Resources to analyze your deals, right? You're going to need a realtor, a good, competent realtor that knows and understands real estate investing, i.e. myself or somebody like me. You're going to need a contractor because they're going to provide you bids for the repairs. You're going to need a lender that understands your vision and understands your situation, so you know what it's going to cost you in closing cost, interest rates, or what loan products are available to you, because not everybody can pay cash for these properties. So you're going to have to leverage your cash with a lender to make your cash stretch and make your money work for you. You're going to need an insurance agent to give you an on-the-spot quote to what the property tax, what the property insurance is going to be on that particular address. And then you're going to need a property manager to let you know if this area is a good area, if it has good tenants, if my comps are correct, if a deal is able to be had, if this particular person is going to, sell their deal, how good of a deal is this for me, and how hard is it for me to get good tenants in this area? Like, you're going to rely on this team. Remember, we talked about building a team. These are the people who you need to put on your team first. Okay. These are your resources. Okay. And you know these people right now. You just need to go ahead and put them in play and let them know, I'm starting to invest and I want to put you on the team. Can I count on you? Okay. And then put their information down and rely on them when you start analyzing these deals. Okay. What systems do I use, right, to come up with the numbers that I came up with for my flip deal or my rental real estate deal, right? Bigger Pockets calculators, okay? BiggerPockets.com has a calculator. I'm going to send everybody who's on this chat my spreadsheet, which is not a Bigger Pockets spreadsheet, but it's an Excel spreadsheet where you type in the numbers, you type in how much you want to put down, and you can type in the rental amount, and it'll spit you out the cash on cash return, what your net income is, what your profit every month is, every year is, how much it's going to appreciate going forward, right? That's free. Bigger Pockets has calculators that you can go on biggerpockets.com and analyze your flip, your rental, your wholesale deal, your BRRRR deal. It has like 5 different calculators. It even has a rehab calculator on the site. Utilize that, okay? It's going to help you understand how to actually plug in the numbers based off of what the seller has told you, what you found online on realtor.com or conradsalesdfw.com. You plug that information in and you plug in the number that you want to make in a profit, and it'll spit you out if that's a good deal or not. It's very simple. I'll make sure to send you guys the link to the calculator instructional video also, so that way you can see how to actually see if this deal is a good deal or not, okay? I noticed that you're not, most people know if the best deals are found when you're not in front of the office. So Deal Check is an app that you can put on your phone. It's a free app, Deal Check. It looks just like this, where you can plug in an address and it'll spit you out the specifics of how big it is. And you can plug in the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, see what price they're asking for it, and analyze that deal right there in front on the fly, right there in your car, in front of the sign, whatever. You plug it in and it'll spit you out a number or spit you out an analysis based off of what they're asking for the property and what you can make on the back end, okay? Deal Check. It is free, okay? It's an awesome app. Rentometer. I get this from literally everybody who buys rental real estate or is interested in investing in rental real estate. How do I know what I can rent it for? There's a couple of ways. You can ask your realtor to provide you rental comps. You can ask your property manager that you plan on using to provide you rental comps. Or you can use a site like rentometer.com, which is free, that you type the address in and it'll spit you out the average average rental comps in the area for properties like that one. Okay. There's a free version, and then there's a paid version where you can get really deep and get way more comps and dive really into analysis of, is this area going to rent? Whenever you're doing a deal, whether it's for a flip or for a rental, you have to be solid on your numbers. Okay. Got to be solid on your numbers. You're doing a lot of guessing and a lot of you have a lot of like unsure nature about yourself when you're plugging these numbers in when you're just starting. Rely on these systems. These systems are going to catapult you over the next person who's starting, that's just relying solely on their realtor for everything. You can plug in the numbers, plug in the deal, analyze it on the fly, and then turn around and make an offer on that property, lock it up, and then once you lock it up, you have time to think about it and fact check and do your due diligence to make sure that all your numbers are correct, okay? So these are systems, guys, that I use to analyze my deals on the fly. And I rely on these systems. They're smarter people than me have built algorithms to show you these numbers and show them accurately. Use them, okay? A good investor knows his limitations. You want to use these things, okay? These systems. LawDepot.com. I will use this. This one does cost money, right? There are plenty of opportunities for you to get a contract, which I'm going to show you a couple sample contracts, and at the end of this lesson, I'll provide you with the links. But they'll give you sample contracts as to actually get that property locked up in a deal. So I found it, I analyzed it, it was good. I feel like I'm ready to go forward. Okay, well, you need to be able to have a contract on the fly that says, Mr. Seller is going to sell it to me, or Mrs. Seller is going to sell it to me, and this is the price, and this is the time I have to review it, and we're going to close on this date. Okay. Real quick about contracts. I'm a licensed Texas realtor, right? So Texas is the only state that has uniform contracts across the state, meaning every realtor has access to the same contract, right? So we know our Texas Real Estate Commission contracts, right? But those contracts are long. You're an investor. Most of these people are under some type of distress. You don't have time to go over 8 pages, 9 pages, 16 pages of contract, right? So you are going to find something that's a 1 or 2 page or something that's short that irons out the details. You can literally write a contract on a napkin in Texas and get them to sign it and get somebody else to sign it and you sign it and you've got a deal in play, okay? But the Law Depot, the reason I like them is because lawyers have put together this site, and you basically, it walks you through what you're trying to do. Whether you're trying to put a contract on a property, it'll say, who's the buyer? Who's the seller? How much are you paying for it? Is there a period that you're looking for inspections? Who's the notary, or is there a notary needed? And it'll basically, based off of the questionnaire that you answer, it'll spit you out a contract that's custom to your situation. And then you can turn around and hand that over to somebody and get a deal locked up. So contracts are super important. I will give you an example at the end of this thing so you can see what one of those look like. Stessa. Stessa.com is a free property management software, okay? This is what we used before we got big and had a bunch of units and we needed to get a paid software. We used Stessa because it was free. You manually input all of your expenses. You can tie it to your bank account, and then it'll pull from your bank account all the expenses and things incurred, and then it'll spit you out reports on how you're doing on that property based off of the rent received, the reports your property management are giving you, and the stuff that's coming out of your bank account for that particular property. It'll spit you out reports on return on investment, how you're doing every month. Are you making money? Are you losing money? What's the percentage of your money? Where is it going? And then also when it comes tax time, Stessa will plug all this information in a tax package so that you can literally export it into an email and send it to your tax accountant, your CPA, to file your taxes so you get the right deductions or write-offs for your property that you've invested in. It's free. Use it, please. Okay, there are other systems that do it as well, but I'm giving you all the things that I use. Okay, and then Palm Agent. This is an app that I typically use to figure out closing cost. You can type in the address, you can type in the sales price, you can type in if you're paying commission to a realtor or not, and it'll, based off of what you put in there, spit you out a number for closing costs based off of the title companies, title insurance numbers, and then also the property tax numbers and the actual sales price. It'll spit you out so you know what the closing costs are. So when you're plugging your numbers in the analysis or the bigger pockets calculator or the deal check calculator, you'll know what those closing costs are to plug in. And that's also a free app, okay? There are paid options available if you want to do like side-by-side comparisons on different properties, all that good stuff. But for the most part, with the exception of Law Depot, you can get all this stuff for free, okay? And I'm going to give you a sample contract. That way, if you don't want to use Law Depot, you'll at least have something to go off of to get started. How do I fund my deals? Definitely want to start with having that financial statement completed. Practice doing that every month that we talked about earlier, okay? But where do I get the money from, okay? A lot of people pay cash, right? I'm gonna go ahead and get that out the way, not spend too much money on that. Spend too much time on that because cash is cash. If you got cash, you get better deals. If you don't have cash, if you do have cash, you can also leverage your cash to get better deals through banks or creative financing, okay? Most people don't have just a boatload of cash to put out, so you can go through different lenders, okay? You can get a traditional lender, a Wells Fargo, a Chase, a credit union, or somebody like that that will do investment loans, right? Their guidelines are typically more strict. They typically will only allow you to have 10 loans maximum, right? And then you can usually bank on putting 20% or more down, okay? 20%. That's a lot of money if you don't have a lot of startup, right? So you can use a traditional lender, which I have used before to buy properties, right? Or you can go to a portfolio lender. This lender typically has assets in different investments, right? And they have a little bit more flexible guidelines on what they allow you to purchase, right? A really good investor has a sensational lender behind them. This is the lender that I actually use to do my deals. They're called Austin County State Bank. Their portfolio lender, most of their portfolio is 80% rental real estate. So they understand investments, okay? So when I go to them and I say, I wanna buy this property and I wanna put X amount of dollars down, and this is the ARV, the after repair value, this is what I think I can make every month, they will be more likely, if my financial statement has been turned in and they have a relationship with me, meaning I have an account with them and I bank with them, they will be more likely to approve my deal. And not only will they be more likely to approve my deal, where this lender will tell you we can do a conventional loan with yada, 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 and you have to put this in, put that in, do this, do that, and submit this documents. This portfolio lender will come up with a loan product. They will create a loan product for you. So that way you can turn around and be more flexible. Maybe you don't have 20% to put down, but you own the land, so you can put the land up as collateral. Maybe you own a business that you can put that business up as collateral so that you can get a deal funded, okay? Because you didn't have 20%. So a portfolio lender is someone who you really want to have on your team, okay? And then there's a hard money lender. Hard money lenders, how many people have heard of hard money lenders? Type in the chat, yes, I've heard of it. No, I haven't, okay? Because I want to see what percentage of people will understand what we're talking about, okay? Hard money lenders are a great asset for a real estate investor, okay? Typically what they can do is a little bit more flexible, right? Why can they do more flexible deals for you? It's typically, a hard money lender is made up of private investors who are typically real estate investors, okay? So they analyze deals all the time. Most people get scared about hard money lenders because they hear the words like balloon payments, super high interest rate, high fees, right? My slogan is, if the numbers work, do the deal, okay? I am using this hard money lender on a deal right now, okay? Where the interest rate is 11.95%, right? But you know what they're also doing is financing 100% of the rehab costs. And then they also refinance their own hard money loans that come due in 12 months. So if I want to refinance it, I can turn around and borrow money from them, do the rehab, pay for the rehab through the hard money lender, and then refinance through this same hard money lender. If the after repair value comes out a little bit higher than I expected, I might actually be able to pull money out of the deal, all of the money that I have invested, and additional money. Additional money, meaning say I bought a house for, $50,000, right? And then I use a hard money lender. I'll just give you the deal that I have right now so you understand real numbers. I bought a house recently. You saw the post that I put on. It was for my birthday. I said, hey, we bought a house for our birthday, right? This is the hard money lender that I have used, right? So I paid $52,000 for that property, okay? I used a hard money lender, right? So the hard money lender had me put up basically all in $12,000 to get that deal, to finance that deal. They gave me 95% of what it appraised at, right? It appraised at basically 49,000, and I paid 52 because, it is what it is. I had the contract for 60,000. The price came down some, so I took a little bit of a hit that way that the seller wouldn't take as big of a hit on the back end, right? So doesn't matter, whatever. 52,000, $12,000 of my own money, right? I budgeted $13,000 for the rehab. How do I know it's going to cost $13,000? I have my contractor come in, look at it, and tell me this is what it's going to cost in order for you to rehab this like you want to do it, right? So I know that the after repair value based off of what I've put in Rentometer and what I've put on my rental, on my for sale comps is 105,000. So based off of that number, I've got 52,000 that I've borrowed. I've got 12,000 of my own money in that deal. They will refinance 80% of the after repair value. So if my after repair value, and this is a real deal, is 80%, right? That means although I have a loan for $62,250, I can refinance at $84,000. Pull all of the 12,000 out of the deal that I've put into it, and then walk away with thousands of dollars cash, and I still have the property. And then I turn around and find a tenant and put it in there that handles that note on 85,000, handles that mortgage amount on $84,000. Okay. So I'm basically buying a property through them, pulling all of my money back out of the deal, and then turning around and refinancing through the hard money lender and making my money on the back end, plus making an additional couple $1,000s. I have no money left in the deal. Can anybody tell me what the percentage return is if you have no money left in a deal and you're renting it at $100 a month? What's the cash on cash return? I'm just curious if anybody has a guess. What is the cash on cash return on a deal that I have no money in, no money left in? By no money, I mean none of my own money left. I pulled it out. Jason says 100%. Yves says 100%. Moore say 85%. Eduardo says 500. The answer is infinity. Infinity. I'm making an infinity cash on cash return because I have no cash left in the deal. I have no risk left in the deal. I've pulled all my money out. Y'all like hard money lenders now? Anybody? I love them. Hopefully I've been able to change your view. This is what investors understand. This is what the general public does not understand. They don't get it, okay? They don't understand you can put your money in and pull it back out, still have the property making you money every month, and go take that money and put it down on another property with another, with the same hard money lender, and do it again and again and again and again and again. Because you're always recycling the same money. If I left my $12,000 in that deal, then I'd have to go find another $12,000 if I want to do that deal again. But when I refinance through Zeus, I can refinance, pull my money out, make a little bit more money. So where I walked in with 12, I came out with 18. I came out with 20 grand. Now I take that 20, put it back into another deal and do the same thing over and over again. This only works if you buy it low enough and the after repair value on the back end is high enough. But you can do this deal over and over, right? Great way to finance. Best way to finance, partnerships. Deal Delta, okay? If you've got knowledge, you've got hustle, and somebody else has money, partner with them. Okay, 100% of zero is zero. Okay, but if you can get 50% of that deal, that's more money than you're gonna ever make because you couldn't do that deal by yourself. So utilize partnerships. Okay, that's why we created this group. My goal for this group is for you guys to partner, be able to do whatever you want to do in real estate with each other. Okay, and learn together. And then you can bring other people up, and the possibilities are endless. Okay, partnerships give you the opportunity to fund deals with less or even no money out of pocket. Okay, then you can minimize risk with shared responsibility. Divvy up the responsibilities. I don't have to do all of this stuff on my own. Maybe my partner is just an equity partner and they're just putting cash up and I'm doing the analyzing or I'm doing the talking to contractors or vice versa. Allows for you to do way more deals without tying up all of your money. I can just tell you, man, I'm partnering right now with stuff. Okay. And I've got multiple partners on multiple deals. That is how I'm able to say I've got 17 properties that I've purchased this year through partnerships, through hard money lenders, through finding the right partners and the right people on my team. Okay. And then the last part of this. Okay. So remember why you're doing this. What is your why? Okay. I know we've talked about a lot of stuff, but remember what your why is. Why are you actually doing this? Okay. Set realistic goals. Okay. Number 2, set realistic goals. Make sure that you don't come out the gate talking about I'm gonna flip 8 properties and you've never flipped a property before. Okay. Start with 1. You're not going to get rich on the first one. Okay. So make sure that when you do that one, you learn from your mistakes and don't make those same mistakes again. Usually most people are breaking even or doing a little okay on their first deal. Not everybody hits a home run on their first deal, but the knowledge you gain from the first one will be forever, you'll be forever grateful for the information, the amount of information that you learned from that first one. Okay. Network for help. I keep saying this, the Facebook group is your saving grace. Okay. Type your questions in there, type your deals in there, put your pictures in there, you know, ask these questions and help get your mentorship, because if we help each other, there's not a lot of people in this group. It's a closed group. Nobody can invite anybody. I can only invite people. I do that way everybody feels comfortable with everybody's, you know, real estate investment education and knowledge level. But at the same time, you got to utilize these people in here. Okay. Some people are going to pick up a little faster than others. So utilize those people. Okay. Make offers. You may not understand how to make an offer right off the bat. Okay. But I guarantee you it's not as hard as you think. If I show you, which I give you the link here in the next slide, what an actual offer sheet looks like, you're going to be like, wow, that's it. I thought it was so much more complex. It's not, man. It's super simple. Okay. Network for help. Like I said, utilize the Facebook group and then take action every day. We have right now 24 participants in this particular meeting. I can comfortably say about 85% of the people who've now gone through this information, gotten these good golden nuggets, you know, taken pictures of these systems and things of that nature on the slides, will never do anything with it. Never. And it's sad because you are your biggest hurdle. Okay. Once you realize that it doesn't matter what background you come from, doesn't matter what your education level is, partnering with the right people and utilizing the group and utilizing mentorship is a tool that you and a skill that you can use to your advantage. The sooner you realize that, the better you'll be in your real estate investing. Okay. You can't do it alone. Nobody can. Okay. Eventually you run out of money, even no matter how hard you try. And so you got to utilize others and utilize help to get you off the ground. And then once you get rolling, it's very easy to do this stuff, rinse, wash, repeat every single time. Okay. Bonus info. Here is the link to Bigger Pocket sales agreement. This is one, biggerpockets.com. I found both of these on biggerpockets.com. It's different contracts that different people have used and that they've got in their database, their archive, that you can use as a non-real estate professional. Okay. You just click the link, save that link, take a picture of that link, plug it in. It'll pop up a sheet.
and you'll be able to see what that contract looks like. It is so easy to fill out. It is so easy to get a deal locked up. You guys, there's no formula or super, schematic science or anything like that. It's just reading, writing, understanding, and then doing your due diligence on the back end. This stuff is not hard. Okay. So let me pop back over. All right. So tell me, okay, this is the good part, okay? This is the questionnaire part. First of all, does everybody feel like that information was useful? Did you learn anything out of that information today that I've given you? Hopefully you did, okay? Because this is probably all new to a lot of you guys, okay? That's okay, right? Now we're gonna get to the question part, okay? Can everybody see me and hear me correctly? Everybody good? Okay. So I want you to think of a question, please. I'll try to get one out of everybody. If I don't catch everybody, I'll make sure to have my email, which I'll have my email put in the chat, which I'm doing right now. ConradSalesDFW.com. I will, if you don't get your question answered in this portion, because we've got, it's 7:26, I want to give a few minutes to answer some questions, and then we can go from there. And then if you have more questions afterwards, shoot me a private message or send me an email, and I'll be happy to answer them. So questions now. Type your question in the chat. I'll try to go down the line and answer any that I can, or as many that I can. And we won't hold you guys for too much longer, okay? Because I know everybody's probably got families or other things to do, okay? So questions. Give me a question, somebody. Okay. Bree says, so if I don't have any cash and want to purchase a property to rent out, what would my first move be? Great question, Bree. If you don't have any cash, let's go back to the deal delta, okay? What are the three? You need two of the three sides. The three sides are knowledge, hustle, and by hustle, I typically mean I found a deal and capital, right? So if you can find a deal, find a house that somebody's willing to go ahead and move, right? And then do the analysis by using these systems, right? You plug the numbers into Deal Check. You plug the numbers into the Bigger Pockets rental calculator to make sure it's going to make money. When you do that, the calculator will run an analysis, and you can actually print or email that analysis and customize it to be like it's your own. Put your logo or whatever on there. And then you have those two things, right? You have a deal, you have an analysis that shows I'm going to make money. Okay, so then I'm going to take that to somebody who actually has money and says, will you partner with me on this? This is my analysis, which is in a professional format provided by the calculator, right? And then this is the deal. This is the actual property. Would you partner with me to see if we can get this going? And that is probably going to be the easiest entryway for people who have low money or no money down to get into the real estate investment space. That's how you get into the game. You're going to have to partner. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful. Jason says, to fund a deal, if you have equity in your home, can you open a line of credit? Absolutely. Great question. Okay. So in Texas, we're in a unique position, right? Our market typically is pretty stable, right? You guys probably saw the news that June was probably the highest amount of resales in the history of Texas real estate. What does that mean? That means there were more sales in the month of June and more dollar figure closings in the month of June than ever before, period, in the history of real estate, right? In Texas. What does that mean? That means our market's really strong. So if you have a home and you've been, basically sitting on this home for a while, or the market has appreciated enough since you bought it that you have some equity into it, you can go to your current bank, you can go to a traditional lender, or even a portfolio lender, which might be a little bit more a better option for you, or a credit union, and then turn around and say, hey, I've got my house, I feel like my house is worth X amount of dollars. Can I get a line of credit against the equity in my home? People brag all the time about how much their home is worth, right? Or how much equity they have in their home, but it's of no use to you if you don't access that equity. It's no good to you. if you don't sell that home and pull that equity out, or you don't use that equity or appreciation by getting that what we call a HELOC, home equity line of credit, then what you bragging about? What's it doing? It's not doing you any good. Okay. So if you use that, that is also a great source for you to fund your first deal, or you're getting going with your first couple of deals. The other thing about the home equity line of credit is that it is a revolving line. So what that means is if you get a loan for $10,000 and then you use that $10,000 and you pay it back, then that loan's done, right? If you get a line of credit for $10,000 and you use $10,000 and then you pay that line down to zero, you can use that $10,000 again, right? Now, what's the risk in that? If you screw up, default on that, don't do whatever you're going to do, or don't do what the loan terms say, then come after your house. That's what you're putting up as collateral, the equity in your home. But if you're smart and you've run your analysis and you've done your due diligence by talking to your property manager or your realtor or somebody else who has a little bit more experience than you, and the numbers work, you're not going to run into that issue. Okay? Great question. Let's see here. Navardo says, how much of rental income do you have to pay taxes on? Example, if rents are $1,000 and expenses add up to $700, profit is $300 a month, and $300 is $300 taxed or $1,000 taxed? Okay, so you're not going to like this answer, but I am a licensed real estate professional. So I have to tell you to contact your tax consultant for that answer. I can't go out giving tax advice because I'm not a tax professional. I can tell you that if you contact your CPA or whoever does your taxes, they will be able to answer that question really quickly for you. But because I am a licensed realtor in the state of Texas, I have to give you the scripted answer. Sorry. Great question though, and it is a very easy answer, but you have to ask a tax consultant, which I would ask for any of my investment tax questions. I would ask my CPA because they're going to know better than I am. I rely on my CPA for all of my tax stuff. On a hard money deal, at what point do you refinance out of the high interest rate? The beauty about hard money is that if you don't have to refi with hard money, okay? A lot of hard money lenders don't refinance their own hard money loans. Zeus does, that's why I put them in the chat, right? I mean, I put them in the slide with the information. However, if you find a different lender, right, to refinance you, as long as that ARV, the after repair value, meaning when I go in and I fix it up, it's going to be worth this amount. As long as that number is solid, you can take that to any bank and do a refinance, right? And you don't have to wait a year, 2 years, 6 months. As soon as that property is ready and it's been rehabbed, you can take that to the lender who's going to order an appraisal, and an appraiser is going to go out and see if that property is worth what you say it is. And if it is, they'll typically lend up to 70, 75, 80, 85% of the after repair value. So you can pull your money out of that deal, or at least just leave your money in the deal and lower the interest rate. So there's no time limit. The hard money lender is banking on you refinancing before 12 months usually. But if you don't, they'll still lend to you. You're just gonna be paying the tax on the high interest rate. What's the most important thing? Spencer says, what's the most important thing you wish you knew when you were first starting out in real estate investments? That is a fantastic question. What is the most important thing I wish I knew? Okay. There's two things for me. The financial statement. I wish I had a better grasp. I wish somebody had sat me down and says, this is like your key to success with getting funding. If you have a financial statement, you understand what it is, you understand how to fill it out, you speak the language of the bank. The bank is going to allow you to go from 1 deal to 20 deals in 2 or 3 years, okay? The other side of that is, I wish that I had placed an importance on utilizing other systems and resources like the ones that I posted in this particular class, the Deal Check app, the Bigger Pockets. you know, things of that nature with other investors were giving out information or allowing you to show how to analyze those deals. I wish I used those systems on my first investments, because by sheer luck, I made good money on those. But when I was doing them, I didn't understand what cash on cash return meant. I only understood what my return on investment was. Those are two different numbers, okay? So understanding the importance of, you know, having the knowledge of other people and constantly listening to the knowledge of other people who have done this stuff before is priceless, man. You gotta seek help, okay? So, and then using those systems. I did everything by my real estate knowledge and my real estate head. I said, I figure it's about this amount. That's what I did. And that was, luckily we still made money on those deals, but you guys may not have the same experience if you don't use these systems. Kay says, are we limited to investing in North Texas only, or are other areas options? Okay, so you are not limited to just investing in North Texas. You can go anywhere, anywhere. You can do investing anywhere. Me as a licensed professional, I can help people purchase and sell properties as a realtor in the state of Texas, anywhere in the state of Texas. But as a real estate investor, I can go to Omaha, I can go to Utah, I can go to Hawaii, I can go to Kuwait, I can go to, you know, England if I wanted to and invest, right? There's no barriers. As long as the numbers work, we do the deal. And you're going to have a team set up in that area that you want to invest, but it's the same team that you're putting together here. Your contractor, your lender, your property manager, your realtor, the people you utilize, your tax consultant, the people you utilize to actually get these deals off the ground, okay? Let's see here. Any other questions? Bree says, when you find someone with money, does that include the bank? Absolutely. Absolutely. You can partner with somebody. Usually you can use the bank and get a traditional loan or a portfolio loan. And if they say you got to put 20% down, right? We'll finance 80% of this deal, right? But you got to put 20% down. Well, what if you don't have the 20%? You can find somebody who will be basically that 20%, who has the 20%, partner with them, break them off a piece of the profits and get the deal. And then turn around and refinance it with a property, with a portfolio lender, a traditional lender, or even a hard money lender. Give them their money back, and now you got the property, you got a cash flowing asset, they've made interest on their funds, and they're happy. And that's a great way to partner for your first deal. There's tons of ways to do this. As a real estate agent, does an agency have to carry a license? Does an agency have to carry that? You mean like a broker's office? Yes, that is, you don't have to have a real estate license to do this. I'm just telling you guys, you don't need a real estate license to do real estate investing. All you need is the right system, the right team, and the right partners. If you can do that, you'll do way more than, you're almost restricted in some of the things you can and cannot do by having a real estate license. It may help you, it may not. I feel like it doesn't. I feel like everything that I learned on real estate investing was learned through these systems, through partnering, through mentorship with other people. What area have you had the best ROI? Great question, right? I've had a lot of success all over DFW. Fort Worth is where a good amount of my rental properties are, right? So you get pretty good returns in Fort Worth, right? The key to a successful ROI is buying right, buying the property right. If you buy it low enough, and that doesn't mean you're just lowballing, but you're buying it low enough to where you leave yourself room to make a good return on investment every month, right? So, but Fort Worth is where I've seen a lot of great deals. Fort Worth, to me, is a place where you can still get properties under 100,000. You can still get legit properties in decent enough schools where it's a nice amount of people who need to rent. The rental market is very strong, and so you can get tenants pretty quickly. Okay, ROI means return on investment. Thank you, Kay. I forget to explain that all the time for people who don't do this every day. Troy says, worrying about the restriction to realtors. Okay, any questions on any of the information? That's a lot of information to digest. any questions on any of the systems, any of the process, any part of the how do I find, fund, or analyze my deals. Anything else that you guys can think of? I'll give you just a second or so. No? Everybody good? Everybody ready to go out and do a deal tomorrow? We'll see, man. So like I said, utilize the Facebook group. If you have questions, I'm begging you, put it in the group. Please put it in the group, right? I'm gonna send you a link that shows you how to analyze a deal with the Bigger Pockets calculator. I'm gonna show you what a sample contract looks like. I'm gonna put a financial statement in there. I'm gonna put all this stuff in here, and I'm gonna blow you guys up with resources in this Facebook group over the next few days, okay? So I didn't do it purposely beforehand because I wanted you guys to get through the class. Now that we're through the class, I want to show you guys how to get off to the races. And everything that I do on my end, on investment side, I'm going to help you guys do. I'm going to show you along the way as to what we're doing, okay? So I thank you again. Thank you so much, guys, for taking this class. Like I said, it's an intro class, but hopefully you were able to take away good nuggets, good stuff, good information that'll get you charged up and excited about getting your first deal out of the way. And then over the next couple of days, man, please, please, please ask questions in this group. That's the only way we all learn together. That's the only way we grow together. And I'm going to learn a lot of information from you guys as you get more experienced on this. Okay. So hopefully you guys found this useful. If you don't mind, feel free to go on and post that this class was awesome and that you recommend it to anybody and tag me in that post. I would really appreciate that, guys, because the more people that I can get the word out to and help, the more deals which will come in your lap and my lap, and the more stuff we'll be able to expand. Okay, so hopefully everything you understood. If you didn't understand it, let me make sure one last time. I'm putting in the chat my email address at gmail.com, conradsalesdfw@gmail.com. Please make sure you send me your questions there. That way I can help you out. And then I'll also share my screen with you guys so that way you can see my email that way as well. Okay. Just a couple quick education sources. Like I said, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Richest Man in Babylon was a really good book to read. Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, talking about entrepreneurship. The owner of Nike, really good book to read to get you juiced up. Some investing forums to join, and then also some investing tips on podcasts that you can listen to when you're in your car or working out or whatever. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to send you guys the link to this class so that that way you can listen to it again, show your spouse, do all this stuff while you're at home, go over it again, and then get your questions answered. Okay, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll leave this screen up for a second. And then, like I said, man, happy investing to you guys. Good luck out there. I'm going to be helping you guys out. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I will do it again. We will do advanced courses on specific topics going forward, but this was the intro class. This is me signing out. Y'all have a good one.